Look, if you don't like Reece Walsh, then I wouldn't be watching any NRL football for the next 10 years. The Brisbane Broncos claimed their first win of 2024, 28-18 over those South Sydney Rabbitohs. The Bunnies start 0-2, and in yet another battle between two very good fullbacks, because it seems nearly every single club has a very good fullback, it was the Reece Walsh show. An incredible performance to kickstart his 2024 after what was an incredible 2023. Few people had questions after round one. I don't know why you would, because it's round one. And what we know from round one is that it's a little bit of a teaser. But Reece Walsh was absolutely spectacular on this Thursday night. And what was a pretty average footy game to start off with. Reece Walsh ended up with 2 tries, kicked 2 conversions because, spoiler alert, it does look like there is another knee injury to Adam Reynolds, but 126 running meters, a line break assist, 5 tackle breaks. I mean, Reece Walsh, he did it all except potentially stop that last try from Latrell Mitchell. But in the battle of two fullbacks, I think we can all agree that Reece Walsh was the clear victor. A masterclass from him, and what was a pretty average game of footy. Either team probably could have run away with it if they just managed to hold that bloody stated in the first half, but I thought that once the game got underway, that the Brisbane Broncos outside backs was the difference in this game. I thought Reece Walsh was probably the best player on the field, like I said in that opening minute, but I also thought that Tony Staggs and Selwood Cobbo and even Dean Mariner were all absolutely spectacular. Staggs and Cobbo especially. Tony Staggs had one of his best games I've seen him have in a long time, and there was no try assist, but he was absolutely outstanding. Had some very good effort plays, a few kick chases, a few tackles which were absolutely out of this world, and one bloke that really impressed me with the way he was hitting his opposite number was Selwyn Cobbo. Easily Cobbo's best game at centre. I mean, there's only been 2 so far, but still, he had that fabulous flick pass try assist to Jesse Arthurs in that second half, and from that point onwards, it looked like the Brisbane Broncos were going to run away with this game. I thought all those outside backs were very, very good, and I thought that those 3 backs pretty much single-handedly were the biggest difference makers. I didn't think that there was one dominant forward back in this game. I thought both of them had their moments, especially in that second half. South Sydney looked like, well, they did. They got themselves back into this footy game, but it just felt like that Reece Walsh was able to create stuff out of nothing, which he did for the 2 tries he set up. That is complete individual brilliance. And despite South having the Cody Walkers, the Lockie Iliases, the Damien Cooks, and even Latrell Mitchell outside of that last try, which was kind of absolutely fantastic in the final minute, South Sydney failed to do that. They failed to capitalise, they failed to create chances, and Reece Walsh, those 2 tries from him, ended up being the difference in this football game. He looks like he's in for a massive 2024. I mean, he wasn't even that bad in Vegas, but he's gotten to the point now where we expect so much of him that even when he has a good game, it's a disappointment. But this was just a little bit better than a good game, I think it's fair to say. I thought he was very good. The South Sydney Rabbitohs, I don't know what's going on with them. If you combine last year's fall off and the start to this year, it is a crazy losing streak, and this is a team that is desperate to find some confidence. Like I said, Latrell Mitchell had that great play in the last minute, but I definitely thought he was so much better in Las Vegas, got himself way more involved in that game. And whether it is his fault or South Sydney's fault, they're struggling to get their stars into the frame. And look, it's going to be a completely different footy side. They're obviously missing a bunch of players. They get Jack Whiten back for that Roosters game. But at the moment, despite scoring, some good points in both their games so far, it feels like if it's not Latrell pulling something from out of his backside, the South Sydney team can't find a way to score points, which is criminal to say when you think of a team with Cody Walker, Cameron Murray and Damien Cook, but it feels like they're so reliant on Latrell Mitchell at the moment, and we saw that when he left in that final game when he got suspended last year, that South Sydney had absolutely nothing. Obviously, they dominated the start to the second half, but I think that goes more to show how important the Broncos are relying on both Paddy Carrigan and Payne Haas right now. I mean, Payne Haas, the bugger only played 56 minutes and still had 19 carries for 186 running meters, and Paddy Carrigan played 76 minutes, went off with 4 to go because the game was pretty much over, and had 222 running meters. I feel like it's unfair to say But outside of Fisher Harris and Leota, these are the two best middle forwards in the competition. So I can't wait to see that clash next week. But these two are only getting better. And that is a scary stat line, especially for Payne Haas. I did think when they went off that they lacked a little bit through the middle. And that's where we saw South Sydney take advantage. I thought that Havili was incredible to start that second half. He scored that try and then set up that one for Moali as well. You can tell that they're missing an edge back rower and a middle forward. Obviously, Arrow's out, which sort of affects both. And to be fair, I know that you could argue it was mainly due to some, I guess for lack of a better word, laziness or just, fatigue through the middle that set up both of Reece Walsh's individual brilliant tries. But I'm not sure how many other teams would defend that. I mean, Reece Walsh is a freak. He did this to nearly every other team besides Penrith last year, and he even did it to Penrith at some points during that grand final. So it's, hard to be critical of South Sydney for letting in a bloke who every single team let in last year, because he was just on a different level tonight. And we all said going into this game that was the matchup. Same with the Vegas games. It was Reece Walsh versus Latrell Mitchell. And Reece Walsh 100% owned Latrell Mitchell in this game. I still think Latrell was one of South Sydney's best. Granted, it was a low bar. But they managed to save this game, both these teams, with some spectacular plays from their star players. Like I said, Brisbane's three backs and Walsh, Staggs and Cobbo were all pretty bloody good, I think it's fair to say. But South Sydney, look, that first 20 minutes was horrible. Same with the Brisbane Broncos. I don't think either team will be very happy. I mean, these are two teams that we both expect to beat at the end of the year. But as for South Sydney, I'm starting to question it. Obviously, once again, I'm falling into the trap of predicting a team way too early. But they've got Roosters next week. And we've seen teams in the past, you can't start 0-3. And the Bunnies are very much in danger of starting 0-3. And that's going to add so much pressure ahead of that Bulldogs game, which is a Good Friday game. And while I have been critical of the Doggies, I mean, the way South Sydney are playing, they just need to get a W to get some confidence, because they were ran down by Reece Walsh tonight. It was a Reece Walsh Masterclass on Thursday. And that was the difference in that football game. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section, what were your thoughts on Thursday night's clash between the Broncos and the Rabbitohs? Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet already, and I'll see you in the next one.